So, hello again, and welcome. Well, I said I wasn't going to do rocket science in the last video, so I thought it had to be done that I actually did something to do with rockets, because that just goes against the flow, right? Well, let's take a looky here, shall we? Because here is my attempt at an orbiting space station, which means it's rubbish, but it's there. Look at this. Now then, you're probably wondering what you're looking at. This is place called Kerbin. It's like the Earth. These are all street lights down on the planet. We're up in the sky. See that there? Look, that's my little thing. You may recognize it based on a real life thing. Russian indeed. So as you can see, I've got one strategically placed solar panel there. It's in the dark side of the Earth at the moment, so you can't really see anything. You see a little green light on there though, look. You see the planet floating about. To make it a bit more interesting though, why don't we just fast forward time a little bit? As it comes around, the sun will come up. Oh dear, it's very dark, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, very dark. Okay, here comes the sun. Doodle-doo-doo. Right, slow it down so you get the... There you go, here comes the sun. The planet's rotating, lovely jubbly. There you go, look at that. Into the sun we go. Look at that solar panel action. There you go, look at that. See, it's even got the proper docking widget and everything. See? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Here we come into the daylight part. If you've ever watched the space station on the NASA TV, then you'll be familiar with this site. This, I think, was the Zebra, I believe. Was it? I think I may have labelled it. What's it called? Yes, though it doesn't say it, but it's the ISS FGB. It is floating in the sky. This thing was a guidance thing, because I cheated a little bit, to help get me into space, because my trajectories are rubbish. As I say, I don't really do rocket science, and I wasn't lying. Now, as you can see, there's a red light on there now. That means that it's not doing anything, I think, because I just shut the little window, which lets you guide it and things. But you can see, look, it's getting the sunlight now, and the batteries are all good. It doesn't do anything, by the way. It just floats around orbiting all the time. But doesn't it look nice just to watch it floating about in space? If you like this and think, my God, what the hell is this? Why don't I have it? It's called Kerbin Space Program, and you can get it on Steam. It's about 22 quid, or it was when I bought it. It is an early release. It's not finished. But if you like a bit of space simulation, and you love to, or you just want to sit here, get this up here, and then just sit here watching the Earth spin around all the time and stuff, then you know it's a nice program for that. A bit of a stress relaxation exercise or whatever. There you go, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And of course you can fly rockets, and I might well do that for you right now. So let's just disappear from here. By the way, I'm absolutely noob at this because I only had it maybe a month ago or something. So do bear with me. This could blow up or something. That might be fun. But we're going to build a spaceship. Yes, let's do this. So we'll get a little capsule to stick our little men in. We'll shove that up there. Now, first thing we want to do is have a thing to detach it when we get up there, because obviously when we come back down, we don't want to have a massive rocket attached to it, so we're going to explode and it would be all manner of bad and wrong. So we need a decoupling device, and we have one of those somewhere. It's a pity I can never remember where. So you'll have to bear me while I'm looking around for it. Decoupler. There are decouplers somewhere that look really good. Ah, here you go, look. A stack decoupler. We'll have one of those. We'll wong him on there. This thing basically is the bit that ejects the other bits, right? So our little men are in the top, but the ejector on the bottom. Then I guess we want some fuel. Now, I reckon... kind of fuel tank should we want on the bottom of that? Let's have a look. What's this? I only want enough to be able to get it back in and out of orbit, so I'm not looking for a ginormous fuel tank or anything. Would that fit nicely on the bottom of that? Well, it looks pretty. Are they both the same? Liquid fuel? Yes, right, I reckon that'll do us. Then we'll bung a rocket on the bottom of it, because we like rockets, right? Rocket, yeah. Now, this is only a little rocket, because this is the thing that's just going to get us... We're going to go up into space, into orbit, and come back. So, what's that like? There you go, little engine on the bottom. How cool is that? Right, now we need another one of them decoupler things, because they're really cool. You wait till you see them in action. So we'll get one of those and we'll bung one of those on the bottom of that. Right, we'll move it up a bit. There's space. Now obviously we've got to get it into space. That's the other hard part. So we're going to need some more fuel. And there are some big dirty tanks here. I've got some add-ons on here, and they're all like proper space stuff, you know, like European Space Agency stuff. Big dirty, like the Ariane proper. You can really build the real McCoy with all the real bits, and that's all a bit hardcore for me. I just want a big ass tank, really. But I won't find one because I'm in the engines department. So let's just get back in the right place and have a look at the fuel tanks. Now, these, I love these because they're just, but look at it, it's a monster, so let's not be silly. You can get into space with them, trust. But we want something a little bit less. Look at that. Right, we'll have one of these puppies, and we'll just bung a few of them on. I can't remember how many of these you need. Now, obviously, with rocket science, there is math, and I don't remember what it is. But there's this math anyway, and if you do it, it's really good, because then it tells you what your delta V is, which tells you how much power and stuff you need, and mass and everything, to try and get this thing to go up into space and do all the trajectories and things. If you look down there, look, it tells you the mass is 9.9 tons, and stuff. So there's also thrust. You have thrust ratios and things. Again, this isn't a tutorial on how to build space rockets. This is just me taking the mick out of the fact that I said I wouldn't do space stations or rocket science, and here I am, building a rocket. Who knows what will happen? So I'm going to grab this. Now, I'm grabbing this because I have had a little go on this, and this thing's got steering. Yeah, because I want to be able to steer this thing when it's up and about in the sky. I hope I've got enough fuel there for what I want. It doesn't look long enough. Rockets need to look long, don't they? Maybe I need to shove another. These tanks feel small, you see, but I can't remember where the big one is. Tanks, fuel tanks, lots of fuel tanks. That looks like the longest one of those type. Oh, there is that. What's this? Hello. Right, that's more like it. Now, of course, I don't think that's going to be enough to get me up out of the atmosphere, because obviously the atmosphere's a bit of a beast. So we're going to need something with a bit more oomph. But obviously, whatever I oomph up there, I need to get rid of it, because it would be bad times trying to carry all that weight. So, see this? It's a radial decoupler. I say that like I know what it is. No, I do. It's a thing, and it shoots off the tanks. Now, I don't know how many tanks I need. Should I go for 4? Right, now there's a thing called centre of mass. And I'm trying to think where these should go to get the weight right. I reckon we'll go there. And then we need the boosty boost tankers, which are going to get us up. Now we could just use some of this solid fuel type stuff, where it's a throwaway rocket. There's no liquid, you can't control the thrust on it. Once you light this baby, it just burns until it runs out. The Rocco Max solid booster, for example. You can bung 4 of those on there. Look at them solid boosters. Yeah, they look pretty cool, right? Yeah, solid boosters. I don't know if that's going to have enough to get us into space. I think so. I have absolutely no idea, but we're going to find out, because if we don't, we're going to fall down pretty quick. Now, speaking of falling down, I want to bring it back down to ground, so we need some way to get this thing to land. I'm not going to go sticking any landing on it, because that's just crazy. However, this thing does have parachute, when I remember where it is. Oh, aerodynamic nose cone, nice. Parachute, would that be science, or would that be a utility? It would be a utility. Clampertron? All the tools. They have all these gadgets, by the way, it's great. Lights and everything, and solar panels. And, you could spend all day just playing with the bits. Parachute, hello. Pop him on top. So that's the parachute to land our little man back so he doesn't get lost in space. This thing's clearly not going to stand like that, though, on the platform. So we're going to have to shove some kind of thing on it. Structural thing. All for the technical terms. Now, what is that? Structural? Yes. You know, they have these things, launch stability enhancer. So we'll stick a launch stability enhancer on. There we go. How is that? It looks like there's a bit of a distance there. That's just down to my inability to do things properly. But we'll name this YouTube, because I'm going to stick it on YouTube. YouTube. Or maybe that's copyright. Okay, let's not call it that. Let's just call it Rocket. Yeah, Rocket 1. There you go. And we'll take it to the launch pad. What could possibly go wrong? I've already forgotten to do one important bit anyway. In fact, I've forgotten to do two. So this could get interesting. You see, the problem with big rockets is they have a load of thrust, and that means that when you kick them off, they kind of, you know, move. And there's no kind of, I haven't put any stabilization or anything on those fuel out of rockets. There's nothing to stop them from sort of going crazy. There's no structural thing. I should have put something structural at the top, really. So this could just go terribly wrong. These are the stages. Now we want that stage and these booster stages to happen at the same time. Right. So when I take off, they will let go. They will launch. We want the middle engine to go at the same time as well. Then we want to detach those, carry up into space and get rid of that bit. Boost it into orbit. Say hello, and then boost back down into orbit, back into the atmosphere, and then land with a nice parachute. Oh, hang on. Oh, yes. That's right, yeah. And then we probably want to, do we want to decouple and parachute at the same time? Not really. Add one. Oh, come on. There we go. So then we can decouple that when we're ready to get rid of the rest of it. And then we can just land with that, right? Look good to you? It looks good to me. So we'll stick the throttle up to full power for our liquid engine. I've probably forgotten loads of important things. And let's go to space. You ready? God. Hey. Well, to my surprise, it didn't freak out, which is what I thought it was going to do. And it appears to be going up into space. Look at that, some sort of boost action. It's not a very efficient rocket or anything, as you just witnessed as I built it haphazardly from things that look nice. It's going up. Now, the idea here, I believe, is we get up to 10,000 kilometers, and when we get that high, we then start to turn into a gravity turn, where we go to 45 degrees, and we sort of then start to travel with the gravity as the Earth rotates, and then we can sort of get ourselves into an orbit, and then bring ourselves back down. To be fair, for the shortness of the video, not to bore you to death, I'm just going to go up into space, Virgin Atlantic style, and then just come back down again. And I have got a bit of a dry throat, so I'm sorry I keep coughing all the time. It's uber professional on a video on YouTube, but I never promised professionality on the making up words that are in the dictionary. So we're getting up to 10,000 now, so I'm going to start to remember what buttons to push. I've forgotten what buttons to push. Okay, so they've just died out, so let's just get rid of those. Oh dear, I didn't think that one through, did I? Okay, so as you can see, everything fell apart and exploded. So we got almost suborbital, but my crap build meant that this thing is just really poor. So anyway, so we're about 16,000 in the sky. We're suborbital. We're not actually orbiting the Earth at this point. The only thing now is we've got to hope and pray that this thing doesn't keep flying up into orbit, because if it gets too high, we're not going to come back down. And then that's going to be a problem, because our little men are all going to be lost in space. Not quite what I had planned, of course. I don't know if you know what, I did promise. Some people said to me they liked these videos. They thought that videos on YouTube and stuff should be raw. They should be raw, they should be as they come. So perhaps I'm just going to stick this up as it is, and you can just take it as you will. I did promise I'd make videos about things. I like space, and I'm just showing you how not to do space. Here you go, here we go. Oh, right, now we're going to start falling pretty dramatically. Now, of course, in the real world, this would probably really be terrible for the guy. We have down the bottom of the screen, here, a G-force indicator. Maybe worth to keep an eye on that, because when that thing starts creeping up, the poor blokes inside are going to get a bit of a rough time. I'm surprised they're not getting any G-force yet, as they're falling, but maybe when they start to re-enter. This thing thankfully doesn't do real re-entry, so they're not going to toast. They might look like they're toasting, and by the looks of this, they're going to land in the water as well, just for double effect. But at least they survived, you see. At least they didn't die. That's the main thing. But yes, this is Kerbal Space Program. If you like it and you're thinking, oh wow, go out and buy it. It's a great game. It's more of a simulator than a game, but as you can see, you can build all kind of mad rockets. You can get silly add-ons for it. There's loads of them. You can have a TARDIS. You can do all sorts of things with it. You do actually learn a bit about science. You learn, you can do the proper math if you really want. And you can learn all about trajectories and stuff, and it all is like the real thing. So, I mean, I've been learning about trajectories, but I do cheat a little bit. There are programs that if you're a bit of a light-hearted space person, like myself, you haven't really got a lot of time, you're at work, or you come home, you haven't got much time to do anything. Don't panic. You can get a lot of add-ons. There's one called, I think it's called Mech something. I'm terrible. I've not planned this really. Maybe I'll do a proper video about this one day. But there's this Mech Lab, I think it's called, and it basically will autopilot it for you. So if you're one of these people that's going to get bored real easily because it's too hard, then I suggest you get Mech Lab, learn to use the autopilot, but watch what it does, and then when you get brave, turn it off and try and fly it yourself like I just did. Now, if I hadn't screwed up my design there, I can't remember when it's a safe time to do the parachute. So I'm going to do it now, but it'll deploy when it gets to the right height. We're only at like 2,000 feet. It's probably a little high, but here it comes. Look. But yeah, it would fly up there, and you can do your thing and come back down, and you can even fly to other planets in this and everything. It's got a proper universe, and you use the gravity of other planets to get yourself about. You project yourself off each one of them's gravity, so to speak, to do your trajectory, and just hope you've got enough fuel to get about, otherwise you're stranded. Oh, here you go. Actually, this has actually worked out brilliant. So we're going to land. Oh, feel the G's on that. Oh, they probably didn't appreciate that. But, yeah, down comes your little men at the space station, so they haven't really gone very far. No water for them, which is good. So, yeah, rocket science, hey, and I said I wasn't going to do any, but you just witnessed some of the worst rocket science ever, live. This is how Keif Denimore does space. I should probably put music on. I'm going to start editing these videos at some point. I might even edit this one a little bit. Only the front and back, though. I'll keep it all here, because I promised I would. But some of them, if they're really, really tragic, then I might have to edit them a little bit. Maybe even sort myself out with some music and stuff. I don't know yet. See how popular it is. I don't know how many of you are actually going to watch it. People wanted to hear my voice and hear me doing things, and I can't think what the hell to do. So I thought, let's do space today. I'll probably teach you things about the internet. I did promise, and I will. We'll learn about email. We'll learn about how websites load up. Keeping it all quite light, though. I'm not trying to get too heavy on it. Like I say, I'm not the guru of tech or anything. I get by. I'm sure I know there are people cleverer than me out there. And they are more than welcome to share their knowledge with me. I won't say no. But yeah, hopefully it's just a bit of fun, and you'll learn a bit as well. And you'll enjoy my little way and take and avenue and angle and words that relate to that. Here we go. Boom. We've landed. I think it's time to end the video now. I hope you enjoyed it. It was different. I'll give it that. Until the next time, goodbye.